1. And we are live with a 3-man show today, boys. A 3-man show, not a 4-man show. Mr. Kirkpatrick is having internet issues again in Maryland. So he's going to get that fixed up tonight, and he'll be right back ready to roll tomorrow. So he'll be back online probably with a vengeance tomorrow, commenting and stuff like that. So welcome back. First thing first, I heard there's a little rumor that somebody's birthday's this weekend. Is that true, Mr. Shear?
Yes, it is. It's tomorrow is my actual birthday, and then we're celebrating my birthday on my stream on Twitch this Saturday. So tomorrow I turn 22, and I'm looking forward to it. So for sure.
Awesome.
Happy birthday. I got sneakers older than you.
Thanks.
Happy birthday, man. Sis, me and you, we got to get on. He's celebrating on Saturday. We got to jump on. We got to jump on with him.
I'll be by you, so we'll get on.
That's it. You'll be by us. That's right. You'll be by me Saturday, so we'll jump on. And hey, he got his birthday present already on, what was it, Tuesday night, when his Pistons got the #1 pick in the draft, which is going to be Cade Cunningham, a can't-miss prospect. I saw the reaction video, Carson. It was awesome. So what was going through – let me ask you this. I saw the video. What was going through your mind when, first off, you made the final 3, and now, one by one, what's going through your mind?
Yeah, I was kind of expecting for the worst. We had a 14% chance to get the #1 pick with Rockets and the Cavs. And when I saw the screen when it pulled up and Ben Wallace was representing us, I'm like, something about this night just feels different. So, it kind of got down to the top 6, then the top 5. And then we got in the top 4 guaranteed, and then the order was determined. And then I kind of started to pull out my phone. I'm like, come on, guys, let's do it. This is it. We haven't had the #1 pick in over 50 years. Like, this is it, man. We got to do this. And then the Raptors went off, and like, okay, top three. This is crazy. Then the Cavs went, and I'm like, okay, it's either between the Rockets or us. Like, for the love of God, please say the Rockets. And when he pulled up the Rockets card, I just exploded in excitement. But yeah, it's going to be insane. July 29th is going to be one of the greatest days in the history of the Detroit Pistons franchise. You just can't mess. We were talking about this before the show started. You just can't mess this up. I mean, this guy is a future superstar. He's going to turn this team around. You're seeing what like the Hawks did with Trae Young. He made an immediate impact within 2 years. You're
Luka
seeing what
Doncic.
he's doing right now.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. He's that guy. He's that special 6'8", 7-foot wingspan. Averaged 20 points per game in college in the Big 12. And they were the last team to knock off the national champs before the tournament started, and that was Baylor. So you just can't mess this up. I think we got our point guard. I think we got our franchise cornerstone player for at least the next decade. So I'm fired up. I couldn't be more thrilled. And, go Pistons. I can't wait until they unleash the jerseys, because I'm going to be the first one that buys it off the shelf.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
And before we get to our comments, Mr. Siciliano, how are you tonight?
Very good. Yourself?
You know what? I'm going to actually, from going forward, we're going to say this is a 4-man show tonight because it's me, Carson, you, and the Guns. You got the Guns out again. So the Guns are their own person. You know what I mean? There they are.
Nice.
There they are. A couple comments coming in.
Hard work.
Couple comments coming in. Stroll time is incredible. Danielle S. saying Carson.
What's up, Danielle?
And Henry, and we're going to start we'll start right out of the gate with Henry's question. Suns versus Clippers in a crucial Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals tonight, but the NBA Draft Combine is what the spotlight is on currently. And yes, Henry, I was watching the NBA Combine. It's on ESPN2. There were actually, when I was watching it, they were in the second game. And Sis and Carson, do you guys watch any of that? I love the NBA draft. So I am, like Henry saying, I am watching this combine today, following it on Twitter. And, there's words that the Knicks are picking 19 and 21, but they're talking to, prospects who are top 10 prospects. So, they are saying the Knicks would probably like to move up into the top 10, move 2 or 3 of their picks. They have a lot of picks. So I would be fired up if that happened. Are you guys fan of the combine, Carson?
Yeah, I think it is. It's great for these young guys to kind of basically explore their talents. And it's a great way for like guys who are kind of on the fence if they want to take a step in the water, get a feel for what the NBA is all about. And then they can really make a decision and say, do I want to sign with an agent or do I want to get some more time and practice to go back to college? Because once you sign with an agent, you can't come back to school.
That's it.
So,
yep.
It's a big step for these guys. A lot of these guys, have exploded in the combine over the past couple of years. It's a great way for these kids to kind of, who aren't like the absolute superstars of the class, but to kind of get their foot in the water. Guys like Luka Garza are showing up there, Dwayne Washington, those guys, to really showcase their talents before they make their last imprint before the draft comes in about a month.
Let me ask you this. Do you guys like, I like the fact of the combine, like you're saying, like where they tell you, okay, listen, there's 3 teams that said, hey, right now you're not going to be a first rounder. You got to go back. You got to work on your 3-point shooting. If you get the 3-point shooting, we could see you as a first rounder. I like that, how those kids, like you're saying, have the ability to do that. The other thing, though, is what do you guys think about when they say the quote-unquote guarantees, the promises, where it's, the Pistons say, hey, listen, you're not going to get by us at number 12. So there's your guarantee. Do you believe that? Do you really, truly believe that? And if you were a player, if you heard that, would that just be like, okay, that's it? I 100% believe what the Pistons say, so I'm going to be a top 12 pick. Carson, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I think it's different for every prospect. I think if you're like a college player and you spent all 4 years of your school and you basically you got a backup plan, you got your degree, now you're just going to test it out and see what's going to happen. I think it's a good place, like we were saying, for these kids to kind of develop and get a taste and a feel for it. But yeah, I mean, if you're a guy that's like first, second year and you're testing it out and these scouts are saying, look, you're good, but you're not that good yet. I would definitely much rather improve my game and make sure I am 100% at least a first rounder, because if you're a second rounder,
no guarantees.
It's kind of back and forth between the team and the G League. You're on those 2-way contract deals. It's kind of up in the air. There's no really guarantee for second rounders after their first year. So definitely get some experience. Take every little piece of advice you can get from these scouts because they know what they're doing.
Yeah, and sis, listen, you lived it a little bit. You had some workouts and stuff like that. This is a little different. It's not a workout with the team, but what's your thoughts on the whole draft process? Like, and exactly like I said, when these school, like Carson's saying, okay, you're a freshman, you're going to come out now, you're going to test the waters, and you have a team that says to you, hey, I guarantee you're not going to get by number 12. Do you believe it? Do you think it's smoke? By the way, sis, before I get to you, our good friend Mark Calderio saying, good evening, guys. How is everyone doing? He's playing miniature golf with his little one. So how are you, Mark?
What's up, Mark?
So what do you think, sis, about this whole process with the NBA draft?
Yeah, again, I agree with what Carson just said. It's almost like a proving ground for them. So it can only benefit them. You know what I'm saying? I think it's great. I really do.
You still see some guys, though, that, I could name a couple, and maybe it changed, maybe it changed in the past couple years, but I'm talking like 5-10 years out. You see it with a couple St. John's guys where, okay, they're leaving after sophomore year. They either get drafted like number 58 or they don't even get drafted. And it's like,
right.
What did you give up college for? Like,
right.
What are you doing now? Like, you can't even go to the G League. There was no G League back then. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
Oh, I'm going to play in Italy, and like that's the part I don't understand. Like, what information are they getting? Or is it just that, listen, any kind of money to support their family, whether it's in another country. I don't know, Carson, is it that? Because when you look at it, you're like, why are these people going into the pros? They're not even getting drafted.
Yeah, and that's just it. It's like every player is different because of what's going on with, financial stress, or if this kid, can make an immediate impact, whether, like you said, if it's millions or if it's, 6 figures, if it's overseas. And lots of guys, they do go overseas and, somehow work their way back into like a G League team and then work their way up again. So, but whatever floats these guys' boat, it's a matter of what they're looking for their financial future. If they want to still play the game they love with basketball, even though it's not in the NBA, they could still be a star someplace else. And that might be the best fit for them.
Yeah, great point. Great point.
So listen, I'm fired up. I love having the rumors. I love draft night, wheeling and dealing. There's going to be trades. But Carson, I think you can go to the bank and say, I'm going to put my $70 or $80 on the side, and I'm going to get myself my Cade Cunningham jersey, because I would be stunned if the Pistons trade that pick. I mean, there's no way they're not going to pick him. I just think, listen, and the thing is, it's not like, okay, it was last year's, number one with Anthony Edwards. And listen, you got a guy that in 3 years, he could be a top 6-7 player in the NBA and total franchise changer. I mean, it could just change your franchise. That's what NBA could just change overnight. And you know what? You guys, and you also got, didn't one of your guys make the Olympic team also, didn't he? Didn't Grant make the team?
Yeah, Jeremy Grant. Yeah, yesterday. He's going to be a part of the Olympic team that was announced yesterday. So props to him. That's another great piece. We had 2 first-team all-rookies with
Hayes.
Sadiq Bey and Isaiah Stewart. Hayes, he got injured last year. So, and the question's like, well, you just signed up, you just drafted the point guard and Kalian, how's Cade going to fit in? But listen, Cade can play multiple positions.
Yes.
And it's, he's one of those combo type guards where, like, wherever you need him, he's going to get you a bucket. And like you and I were saying before, like, you just can't pass up on this kid. He's going to make an immediate impact and turn this franchise around. Because, it's last decade, it's been mediocrity. We tried out the experiment with Stan Van Gundy, and we traded all of our assets for Blake Griffin. You see how that turned out. We thought Andre Drummond was going to be something. And, long story short, in today's modern game, you're seeing it in the playoffs with guys like Devin Booker and Trae Young. It is all guards shooting.
Yep.
And Cade do it from all different sides of the court, and he's our guy. And if you even think about trying to even consider trading that pick, you're going to have to give me arms, legs, limbs, everything, at least 5 to 10 assets, because we're not giving up that pick. We're no way we can pass out on a guy like this.
All right, so let's get to our good friend Henry's first comment. He's talking about, and we talked about Booker, but the Phoenix Suns, they are 2 games away from the NBA Finals. I mean, listen, they were unbeaten in the bubble last year. They didn't get in, so they were a little hot team. They got Chris Paul, but how many people saw Phoenix go into the finals? 2-0 tonight. Chris Paul is back. They go into the Clippers. I mean, this is now the 3rd series. The Clippers have been down 0-2. Can the Clippers get out of this hole again, or is this just inevitable? Phoenix is going to win this series.
I don't know. I got a gut feeling that the Clippers are going to not tie it, but make it, 2-1 tonight. They're home. That's a big advantage when you're home.
Yeah, it is.
Home court is big.
So you're going Clippers tonight?
All the way.
Carson, what about you?
Yeah, if the Clippers lose game 3 and swept by the Phoenix Suns, you saw, in Phoenix, both games went down to the wire. Clippers nearly had it, and then Jay Crowder made an amazing pass to seal that game. And, it's might be one of the biggest games of Paul George's career. The team's on his back, and Terrence Mann's got to have another great game, because you're not playing without Kawhi Leonard again. But It's going to be difficult because, like you just said, Chris Paul is back. And he's basically their centerpiece of that team. So it's going to be challenging. But if they don't win tonight, I think it's a wrap. Suns, you can book them for the finals.
Henry saying the Clippers are without Kawhi Leonard. He may be out for the rest of the playoffs. How crucial is that for both teams? Anyway, I know you're saying 2-1, and I agree with both of you guys. I think this is the season for the Clippers. I would say they're going to win tonight. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not confident, but I would say, again, at home, big thing. But can they win this series without Kawhi Leonard,
No, definitely not.
Carson, what about you?
No, I don't think they can. They need to get a game, and they got to hope. I don't even know what his status is. He's going to try to come back, but his knee's been giving him issues, and I just don't see him making it out of 7-game series without their best player. So I don't know. Paul George might go off and he might go crazy, but there's going to be other guys that need to step up and fill his shoes. Because if they lose tonight, it's.
I mean, if they don't have Kawhi, now you're talking they have to win what? 4 out of the next 5 games. And without Kawhi Leonard, I mean, that's
going to be pretty hard,
And 2 of those games being in Phoenix. That's tough.
In Phoenix,
I could see, listen, I wouldn't be shocked if it's 2-2. But, I mean, without Kawhi, I don't know. I wonder what Henry's thoughts are on that, but I think that, that just destroys him. I mean, he's the best player on that team. He's one of the best players in the NBA. You saw he carried him through against Dallas. So I think that hurts. Now we go to now we keep saying this every week. We've been doing this for like over a month with the playoffs in Atlanta. When is Atlanta when's it gonna strike midnight for Cinderella in Atlanta? And they win again. They win in game 1 at Milwaukee. Trae Young goes nuts. What did he finish with? I think 48?
Something like that, yeah.
48 over 12 or 14 assists. I mean, sis, I know you keep throwing out, and you're an Atlanta guy, and you're a believer in this Trae Young, but is this team for real? I mean, seriously, now we're in the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, yeah.
I said that 2 weeks ago, and then when I saw the line at 7.5 points last night,
you're selling me.
I mean, come on, that's crazy, man. And they won outright. Yeah, it's crazy.
Now, let me ask you this, sis. See, I think this is the perfect game I love because Milwaukee's playing for their season too. There's no way if Milwaukee loses at home and goes down 0-2, it's over.
It's over.
So I think Milwaukee, everything's going to be for Milwaukee. They're going to get calls for game 2. I think it'll be just like it was in game 7 versus Brooklyn. Greek Freak's going to be inside, not shooting jumpers. So I would be I'm 90% sure Milwaukee's winning game 2. Carson, what about you?
Yeah, 100%. Trae Young, we all know he's a stud, but I just don't see him going back-to-back 40-plus points, especially in Milwaukee. But yeah, I think Giannis and Middleton, they realize what's at stake. They got to get at least one game on their home court before they go back to Atlanta, because if they go down 0-2, they're in deep stuff. So it's a big game, and they gotta rebound, but and they barely lost, and that's with Trae nearly scoring half the points. So I can tell you this much: they're never going to snub out Trae Young ever again for an All-Star appearance.
No.
He basically was ticked off, and boy, oh boy, is he putting on a show in the playoffs right now.
Let me ask you, so sis, you could take Atlanta up 1-0, knowing that. Who still wins this series?
First of all, Carson brought up a great point. How do you leave Trae Young out? I mean, I totally don't get that, number one. Number two, I've said this for the last 2 weeks, Atlanta, they're scary, man. They're scary. I like Atlanta. I really do.
You know what I was telling me? I was talking to me and Hoops were talking about it today, and what Atlanta has is, when you really look at it, and listen, we always say defense wins championships, but look how many guys legitimately can score on that team, right? You got Trae Young, Bogdanovich. You got, Collins is a scorer. DeAndre Hunter was a scorer. Now you still got off the bench Gallinari, Lou Williams, Herter. They could score. And, Carson, that's a little different than it's like if Drew Holiday and Middleton and Greek Freak, like these guys can come in waves, man. They got 8 guys. If 4 of them can step up in one night, they're scary. Carson, who are you gonna pick right now? Take it Atlanta 1-0. Who would you still take to win the series?
See, this is tough. I mean, it's like if you don't think there was pressure on Giannis and Middleton before, I mean, if the Hawks beat them, I mean, what's next for Milwaukee? I mean, it's crunch time. You just signed Giannis to a ridiculous contract. We were talking about how Middleton, he needs to step up, and he has. But I think you just nailed it on the head. The Hawks are way deeper, especially on their bench, because if it's not Middleton, Holiday, or Giannis, I don't see a forced scoring option for the Bucks. I mean,
Right,
Brook
exactly,
Lopez,
right.
I mean, who's gonna
They're not.
fill that gap? So, Atlanta's got a ton of shooters. They're all revolving around Trae Young. He gets the ball flowing. I think Trae Young. We talk about how well he can score, but he's a terrific passer too. He's getting guys involved left and right. And I don't know. I'm kind of with Sis on this. I think if they make this kind of like 1-1-2, 1-2, 2-3-2, I think the Hawks can pull it off. I think they got a lot of momentum on their side. Giannis, and he's been here before, and he needs to show up, because if he doesn't, it's going to be Hawks, and they're going to go to the finals. It's going to be a really different finals.
Yeah.
Something we didn't really expect this year. We thought, it's going to be the Nets, it's going to be the Lakers. Four totally different teams.
Yeah. Eddie
Yep.
Murphy is saying, good evening, guys. And he's saying the Hawks will be winning the series. The Bucks cannot keep up with the Hawks' speed. Anthony Cuccio saying, go Islanders. They going to the Cup. We're going to talk about that in a second, because I'll tell you this.
Again.
I am going to be glued into Game 7. I am. And I'm rooting for the Islanders. I mean, a good Alan Hahn, our great friend who comes on with us once in a while, and I listen to him every day. He is a diehard Islander fan. He was at the barn last night, and the place was rocking, and I hope they do it. I hope they pull it off tomorrow in Tampa Bay. Real quick, one more question from Henry, Carson. What mishaps could Atlanta and Milwaukee make, knowing that the Bucks have the most problems that can haunt them the rest of the series? I'll put it this way for you. What does Milwaukee have to do?
They got to get more of their guys involved. Bryn Forbes, I need to see him shoot the basketball more. I mean, he was great in the first round, and ever since he's kind of been quiet. You need a defensive presence like Pat Connaughton to step up. It's hard without Dante DiVincenzo, probably one of their assets that they desperately miss the most right now. You got to get some of, and then Drew Holiday. You saw in the first game, he played great in the first game. He needs to keep that pace going, because you saw it against the series against the Nets. It was Middleton and Giannis, like nearly almost 75% of their points was those two guys. So they got to get more of their bench involved, because they can't keep counting on just these two guys. They got to get everybody else involved. What's great about the Hawks is it's Trae Young, but it's also a bunch of other pieces around him that can work so well. And you even saw in the playoffs, if there's too much star power like the Nets, it kind of was wishy-washy. Joe Harris, I don't know where he was. He completely blanked. So you got guys like that need to step up on the bench. It can't be just your two guys that do it every night.
Eddie's saying Giannis needs to stop shooting threes, and Middleton has been slow starting all playoffs. Okay, here's my last question. I'll throw it out to you, and if Henry and Eddie want to answer it, that's fine. I'll start with Carson. Right now, you're heading up an NBA franchise, and I say to you, you could start your NBA franchise with either three players: Trae Young, Luka Doncic, or Cade Cunningham. Who are you starting your franchise with tomorrow?
Oh, man, this is going to put me on the spot here. I love Cade. He's going to be a superstar, I think, but I think Luka Doncic is the future of this league. He is going to be, if not already, the next LeBron of the face of the NBA. I think I'm going Luka to start my franchise with. But I hope, man, Cade is. I hope he's on his way, man, because that'd be so great if we can get that kind of guy, because we haven't had that kind of impact player in years. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go with Luka though.
I'm going to do the same. It's tough. All three of them are great choices. Eddie's saying Luka, then Trae. Again, I would say it right now too, because obviously Cade hasn't played. But listen, we can get back to that question a year from now. But I would go Luka too. Sis, what about you? Doncic, Trae Young, and Cade Cunningham. See, he's a big Trae Young fan. I think Sis is going to pick Trae Young.
Absolutely. Hands down.
I knew it. I knew it. But then, listen, you can't go wrong with any one of those three if you're leading your franchise with any of those three. But that's it. So exciting tonight. I'll watch Game 3 a little bit. And, hey, you know what? Like you said, I think it's good for basketball. I'll ask you, I have one more. Sis, with these four teams in that Carson mentioned, obviously Phoenix, the Clippers, Atlanta, Milwaukee, no really super teams. Do you think that teams are going to start doing this now and looking and saying, I'm going to build through the draft and I don't need 3 stars. I got to get my one guy and I'm going to build my roster 1 through 12. Sis, is this going to hurt the super team mentality, or do you think teams are still going to try to get super teams and win right away as opposed to developing these teams?
It's going to hurt the super teams mentality, because again, it's almost like baseball. They don't go to the plate to hit base hits. Everybody's going up looking to hit a homer. I mean, it's out of control. And that, again, we're Yankee fans, and that's the Yankees' biggest problem right now. Yep. Everybody wants to hit a homer. Everybody wants to be a star. You have no team players, if you want to call it that, in my opinion.
Carson, what about you?
Yes, this made a great point. I think both you guys have seen this movie. I'm going to bring up an analogy from Moneyball. Like Sis just nail on the head. Just get on base. Just get guys who can get the job done, do their part. You don't need all these superstars trying to hit a home run or hit it out of the park every single time, because kind of like we're seeing. I mean, they spend all this money on 2-3 guys, and if you get an injury that takes place or one guy has a bad game, you got to have a bench. You got to have guys around you that you can build and go forward. Make one guy the go-to guy and make some other players that you can build around that are great role players, and just go from there. Because if it becomes too obsolete, like we saw with the 3-headed monster this year in Brooklyn, it can go south. You need other guys that can step up and make plays.
Yep, I totally agree with you. I think it will change. You're still going to get teams that are going to have the mentality of let's just get the stars and try to win. But I think you're also going to look at other teams and they're going to say, hey, look at what look even like what Dallas is doing. But look at what Phoenix did. Maybe you get a better older vet to go with your young star. Cade Cunningham, you get Grant. Like you said, you have a couple good rookies. Now you get one more decent free agent. I mean, you can go from the number 1 pick to, a number 6 seed in the Eastern Conference. Now you're number 3 seed 2 years from now. It turns that much in basketball, which is awesome, All right, so let's do this. Tonight, real quick, Montreal Canadiens 3-2 over Vegas. Does Montreal close it out tonight, Carson?
Yeah. I think they do. I think they get it done. They're back on their home ice. It's games. You don't want to go game 7 in Vegas. That's the last thing Canadians want to do. They got to end the series right now. Go to the Cup. They got their whole country behind them. I think the Canadians get it done tonight. If they do, I think the Canadians are in trouble if it goes back to Vegas for game 7.
Me too. I totally agree with you. Tonight is like game 7 for them. If they're not going to win game 7 in Vegas. No way. No way.
Yeah.
So 100%. I'm gonna be with you. I will go with Montreal. Sis, what about you? Vegas or Montreal tonight?
Yeah, I think Carson just nailed it again. I'm gonna go with Montreal. I mean, Vegas had their chances and Montreal does not want to go back there. So I'm gonna go with the Canadiens tonight.
Okay, and then tomorrow night, game 7, 8 o'clock. I will definitely be watching. Islanders at Tampa Bay. A lot of people are saying, Tampa Bay's been the best team all playoffs. But the Islanders, man, they just don't go away. This team does not go away. I'm going to start with you, Sis. Islanders, Tampa Bay tomorrow night, game 7. Who goes and who advances to the finals?
Well, but obviously we live in Jersey, so I'm going to be rooting for the Islanders. But Tampa Bay's tough, man. Tampa Bay's tough. But I'll be rooting for the Islanders.
Henry's just given a comment about the other series. Has the goaltending matchup been the big difference in the series, or could it be something else? Montreal has the guts to advance. They do. Montreal, again, Vegas was the hottest thing since sliced bread after they beat, our good friends from the Rocky Mountain Sports Report, the Avalanche. And a lot of people said this is going to be in 4 and 5. They're going to blow them out. And they haven't, man. This team, Henry, absolutely, I agree. They showed guts, Montreal. And but I agree with Carson. Tonight's, they better win tonight to advance. Carson, what about tomorrow night? Are we going to have fans happy in this, tri-state area here or is just Tampa Bay, are they too good and they're going to, get to another final, or are the Islanders going to do it?
Yeah, and that's just, I think Sis nailed it. I'm rooting for the Islanders. They had a great comeback overtime win a few days ago, but I think, Lightning are coming off of the defending Stanley Cup champions. So Tampa Bay, Game 7 for the Cup, good luck. I think it's going to be the Lightning that pulls it off tomorrow. I think they have way too much more experience than the Islanders do. It's going to be a great game for sure. It might be one of the greatest Game 7s ever in NHL history. So, yeah, I'm going to go. I think the Lightning are going to get it done, though.
What's awesome, though, was how, they're closing the barn, for the Islanders. And, last night, if that is the last game, an overtime win to stay alive, to force a Game 7, and to keep that building open, to keep the chances of the building open. It was a great thing to see, and I'm pulling for him. I'm going to pick him. I'm going to pick him. I wouldn't bet him, but I'm going to pick him because I want to see him win. Henry saying Tampa Bay suffered a turnover in the last game. More of those in Game 7 and their season is over. What could be the strategy for both teams, though? All right, so Carson, let's answer Henry's comment. All right, obviously the favorites are going to be Tampa Bay. Okay? Mm-hmm. They're home, they're in their building, they're just quote unquote the better team. So do the Islanders, if you're the Islanders, do you think, how can I explain it? You always, when you go on the road, you got to weather that first storm that's going to come at you. Is it if you're an Islander fan, are you going to be I just got to get through this first period and hopefully it's not 3-0. If it's 1-0 or nothing, if I get, the longer that game goes, the longer I have a shot. Would that be your mentality?
Yeah, 100%. I think the Lightning, they got us, they're on their home ice. It's Game 7. They got to try to take an early. I guess you could say this for both teams, but who's going to make the first move? Because who makes the first move, then the other team's like, oh crap, and now we really got to step it up and try to match them and make it last as long as possible. I could easily see this game going into overtime again. Both these teams, I think their goalies aren't going to let anything go past them too easily, and lots of face-offs are going to happen. So I think one team like Lightning, for example, they gotta protect their home ice early on. Don't let the Islanders come out right out of the gate, 2-0 after the first period. And then same thing with the Islanders, guys, the underdogs. I think you got to make up the first move because if you let them take the first step and then you're falling behind, I think it's over.
Anthony Cuccio saying down 2-0 last night, scored 3 straight. All the momentum is with the Islanders. They have the eye of the tiger. Coach Breslin is saying, what's up, guys? Breaking news, Julius Randle missed another big putt to lose to KD in golf. Hey, just what? Listen, in a couple of weeks, that Knick team's going to be stronger and stronger and stronger. We love busting chops with Coach Breslin and his Nets. He's also saying, let's go Islanders. I agree, Carson. Team that scores first has a big advantage. Henry's saying, I always do wonder if the UBS Arena will be the new best hockey arena in America when the Islanders move there next season. Would be amazing if they add another Stanley Cup banner to raise. Listen, they were the team, man, in the 80s. They were, they were the powerhouse. And, again, it was just awesome watching it last night, especially the other night they had the orange hankies, it was just, I'm pulling for him. I would love to see it happen. And I'm just so glad, again, the barn wasn't shut down last night, in a playoff loss to Tampa Bay, that they get that win in overtime, get to Game 7, and hopefully, you get a couple more at the barn. And Coach Breslin saying, Carson, congratulations on the first pick.
Yeah, thanks, Coach. We're excited, man. I think Cade's going to do it for us. We haven't had anything like this in 50 years since 1970, so I'm looking forward to it. I think he's going to make immediate impact.
Another Islander comment by Coach Breslin. Amazing what Lou Lamoriello does to organizations. He is a great executive. Absolutely. Sis, real quick, because I know you're going to you got some questions for me and Carson, but your Yankees have been a little hot. Another win today over Kansas City. Big comeback win last night after Chapman almost blew them. He did blow the game. What's your thoughts on the Yankees? You feeling a little more confident, sis?
Yeah, they turned the corner a little bit, but truthfully, they still have a long ways to go. Again, the lineup, it's every night it's a different lineup with Boone. And here's a question for you.
Okay.
If Boone goes next year, do we go to the Marlins and take Donnie Mattingly? Do we do that?
I mean, listen,
Yep.
they said it all along. I mean, Mattingly, who would be great would be Showalter. I just don't know if that could ever, he could ever come back. I mean, that's a guy that's gonna, kick him in the what. Carson, what do you think about that?
Yep.
Mattingly or Showalter coming ever back or?
It's a tough day. Because you don't see that too often where they come back to their former team. So I mean, whatever floats your boat. If you guys feel like that they could definitely turn this into the positive direction, but I think the Yankees are gonna. I still got them making it to the World Series. I think that pitching rotation's too strong, and baseball is so long of a season.
True.
There's so many different things, up and downs, and I think. October baseball, when it comes push to shove, I think the Yankees are going to turn it up a whole nother level.
Okay, very optimistic. Hey, you make Yankee fans happy, Carson. I'll tell you that, man. I will tell you that.
With that statement, I agree with you.
I'm just trying to think before Sis goes. A couple other items. The Aaron Rodgers news again every day. It's where's Aaron Rodgers? What's he doing? Yada yada yada. There was some talking about Deshaun Watson today. I was hearing a couple things. Again, 22 lawsuits. They're still saying pending on them. There was somebody today that came on, a reporter, saying that there's a possibility he misses 2 seasons. Wow. Somebody asked, would you trade for him now? If you were a team, would you trade for him now, knowing that he's going to lose one, probably going to lose, at least 6 to 8 games, but possibly a year to 2 years? Or is there just no way you could trade for him, Carson, if you were another organization?
I think you got to wait at least a year, 2 years, wait till all that clears and go from there. I wish him the best, but I mean, that's just kind of a situation you don't want to put friends with. It's all about reputation. It's like as they go out and get him. It's we saw with Colin Kaepernick. I think he's a great quarterback. It's kind of ridiculous that he isn't even on an NFL roster, and he's better than half the quarterbacks that are starting right now. So it's kind of, I guess, fine tuning and what you want to do. I mean, Deshaun obviously is a great quarterback, but I think he's got to get troubles fixed off the field before he starts talking about trade talks.
Coach Breslin saying the Packers should tell Rodgers to play or stay home. Don't trade him. Coach Breslin's also saying, no way you trade for Watson. If I am the GM, I don't want him no matter how good of a player is. Sis, what about you? Would you be interested if you were running a team? Would you put all the personal things aside for the power, for the player Watson is, or do you just don't want that baggage, on your team?
No, don't want the baggage.
I mean, you also got to think about this, guys. Your quarterback is your face of your franchise. So that's the guy that's going to be, on your yearbook, on your, on the internet, on your tickets. I mean, the teams really want that, you are going to get backlash. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the reporter today I was listening to said, hey, you do not find 25-year-old quarterbacks that have his talent. It's very hard, and people's jobs depend on finding quarterbacks. So I agree with you. That's a lot of baggage. I don't think I would do it, but he said absolutely if he gets cleared and they're allowed to play, you're going to have easily 10 to 20 teams jumping in on Deshaun Watson sweepstakes because just you can't find quarterbacks today. So yeah. Henry's also saying phase 1 of the 2021 MLB All-Star ballot is finished. Let's see which surprise players can make the starter election when they announce it on Sunday. I'm always interested. We're talking about the home run derby. Carson, you're a fan of that because I am a fan of the home run derby.
Yeah, and I love Shohei's competing in it. He's going to be the first pitcher ever to compete in that event. So I'm for him. And yeah, it's going to be fun to watch what he can do because he's having a hell of a year right now at the Angels.
All right. So, Mr. Sis, you worked hard for some trivia to get me and Carson. You want to give us some tonight?
Yeah, we're gonna keep score, nice and easy.
Oh, by the way, last night, Carson, me and Kenny were in a game 7. He got me 3.
Oh, wow.
I got him 3. Sis, was I on fire with Kenny last night, though?
Yeah, you buried him.
I put him away,
Yep.
Carson. I put Kenny away.
Sweet.
All right, Mr. Carson, we're going to start with you. In 1967,
Oh, boy.
first round draft pick for your Lions. I'll give you a hint. Played for Michigan State.
Oh, man.
And he was in the game where it was 10-10 tied Notre Dame. Can't make it any easier.
Oh, I think I'm too young for that. I have no idea.
Yeah, you're way
No
too
idea.
young for that. Bubba Smith.
Who was
Okay.
it? Bubba
Yeah,
Smith?
okay.
Bubba Smith. All right, Mr. Valenti, we're going to go to you with the Broncos. 1973 to 1981. Auburn broke the streak in 1982 in the Iron Bowl against my boys. What was the final score? If you don't know this, I'm going to be shocked. Shocked.
I want to say that's when Bo went over the top.
Yes, he did. That's that game. Wow, I can't believe you don't know this. I'm
going to throw something.
What?
I'm just going to throw it. I'm going to say 24-23.
23-22.
Ah! I knew it was. He went over the top. I want to say as a freshman.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, come on, says I was close on that one. 1 point off. Damn it.
No, you can't get it.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, but I was close.
I'm tough. Mr. Carson,
All right.
1974, 88-yard TD pass to this player against Ohio State. Michigan State won 16-13. Who was the person? Who was the player? I'll give you his initials, LJ.
Oh, God. Mm. Yeah, I'm stumped. I don't know.
Levy Jackson. Back to Mr. Valenti.
Don't feel bad, Carson. I'm older than you, a lot older than you, and he's still giving me stuff before I was born. The Bo one I should have knew.
Okay. Auburn once appeared twice in this bowl. The same year. 1954. What was the name of the bowl?
Wait, say that again?
Auburn appeared twice in the same year in this particular bowl game. What was the name of the bowl? Back then, they did that. No clue.
I
can tell you, shaking.
Cotton Bowl.
Gator Bowl. All right, you guys are at 2 minus each. I'm gonna give Carson an easy one.
Okay.
All up. Most successful coach in your team history: Duffy Daugherty, Clarence Biggie Mullins, Nick Saban, or Lou Holtz. Those 4 choices.
Saban.
Nope.
Mm.
Clarence Biggie Mullins. Okay, we'll go back to Mr. Valencia.
What was Saban's best record there, Carson?
6-4, I believe that's what it was. I could be dead
Okay.
wrong.
Yeah, he was there for a little bit.
But he turned that program around, though, right, Carson? I mean, he really got that back on track, would you say?
Yeah, yeah, he was definitely a piece to it. Yeah.
Kurt, if you don't know this, I might defriend you. Complete this song. War Eagles fly down the field. What's the rest of the song?
I don't know.
Oh my God, are you serious? Ever to conquer, never to yield.
I could probably
Neither one
sing
of you
it, but
got-
I don't know the words.
Neither one of you guys have a plus yet.
I know.
Okay, Carson. This player wore number 2 from 1997 to 201. He was a wide receiver, kick returner. He had 2 TDs on kickoff returns in 2001. In his career, he had 7 TDs for 1,640 yards. Who was he?
Yeah, you got me again. I'm stumped.
You guys are bad tonight.
Who is
Yeah,
it?
we're
Who
off.
is it?
Terrence Williams.
Hmm.
Kurt, Terry Bowden, first 2 years, how many games did he lose?
Well, his first year, he went undefeated. His second
Right.
year,
And who did he lose to? That should be easy. That's a hint right there. The loss came against who?
I'm going to say Florida.
Alabama.
Because his first year, he went undefeated.
Yes, he did.
And he
Yes,
went
he did.
undefeated, but they were on probation. They weren't allowed to play for the championship.
Okay, we'll go back to Mr. Carson. In 2004, he was a first team All American. Okay. And I'll give you a hint. He was a punter. He was a first team All American. 2004.
Oh God.
You're young enough to know this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the same year Brian Hoyer was our quarterback. I can't tell you our punter's name, though.
That's exactly correct. Yep.
Was it Hoyer?
Brandon Fields.
Oh, yeah, it was the same year with Hoyer.
Yep. I can't. You guys don't have a plus yet. I can't believe
It's this. You're grilling us tonight, man.
Again, it's the trivia. Okay. Kurt, you got to know this one. Pat Day, 3-time Sugar Bowl. What was his record? 0-2-1, 2-0-1, 1-1-1. (1984, 1988, 1989).
I'm going to say
2-1.
Well, I know he
2-0-1.
definitely had a tie. He definitely lost to Florida State. I'm going to say 1-1. It's either 1-1-1 or 0-2-1, but I'm going to say he's 1-1-1.
You got your first check of the night. Very good.
Who did they beat that first one? I know they tied Syracuse. They lost to Florida State. I forgot. I don't remember who he won before. The one before. Maybe you know who he might have beat. Did they beat Michigan that year?
It might have been Michigan.
It might have been
I'm not
Michigan.
sure, to be honest.
It might have been Michigan.
Carson, Kirk Gibson. He had 100 yards receiving in his career. 7 TDs. Who broke his record in 1976? Played for the Giants. Can't get any easier than that. Played for the Giants.
What year did he break the record?
1976.
No idea.
Plexico Burress.
Oh, okay.
He
Wow.
didn't play. No, but he didn't break that. See, Sis is tricking us into questions here, Carson.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
He didn't break the record in 1976. Plexico Burress just played in the NFL. That's a trick question. You're tricking us.
The question is, Kirk Gibson was a 100-yard receiver, okay, in his career. He had 7 touchdowns. Who broke his record in 1976? Plexico Burress played for the Giants in 1978, my friend.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Look it up. Google
Carson,
it.
he's cheating here, Carson. He's cheating
Google
here.
it. Back to Carson. You can't handle the heat? Get out of the kitchen. Okay, let's see.
Who's up? Me or Carson?
Carson is. The capacity of the Spartan Stadium in 1994, 72,027 people, 71,000, 74,000, 65,000. Come on, you need a check to tie him. 7202, 71, 74, 65,000.
This is what year?
1994.
72.
Very good. You got him.
Wait, it was one of the 70s.
What is it? What is it now, Carson? Did it go? Is it 100,000 or no?
No, I think it's at 75,000 right now.
Oh, so it's no. So when they say the Big House, Michigan, the Michigan has way more than that.
Michigan, biggest, Michigan's that's over 100,000.
That's over 100,000. Mr. Sis, we got 2 more minutes, Mr. Sis. It's
okay.
So whatever you come down with your heavy hitters.
Here we go.
All right.
Dan White, your quarterback in 1977. He got hurt against Bama, and they were trailing. This quarterback led Auburn to the victory over Alabama, 21-17. Who was quarterback?
It's not Pat Sullivan, is it?
I'll give you one more guess.
That's the gift. You don't see it. Don't be angry.
I'm not sure.
You better brush up on your Auburn
Who is it?
stuff. Patrick Nix. We're going to go back to Carson.
All right.
We did bad tonight, Carson.
Yeah.
Carson, how many Heisman Trophy winners has there been in Michigan's history? 7, 10, 12, or 14 Heisman Trophy winners?
I'm going to go 7.
Winner.
Nice.
You're up 2-1.
All right. This is it, Mr. Sis, because we got a minute left. So
Okay.
I got to tie this or I'm out.
I got to get you with a hard one then.
Oh, of course. You want to cheat.
Here we go. 1970 to 1990. 2 Heisman Trophy winners won this award. Who were the 2 players from Auburn from that era for 10 years? Who were the 2 players?
That's Pat Sullivan and Bo Jackson.
Very good. That ends the evening at 2-up.
Nice.
Do you have a
Nice
bonus?
job,
Do you have a
boys.
bonus one for us, or are we just going to end in a tie tonight?
Now we're gonna next week. I'll have a bonus Tonight, we're going to leave it in the tie because, honestly, I really hammered this. It was pretty hard.
You did. They were tough. They were tough. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were gonna come Denver tonight at me, so you got me a little.
No. I was the same way as a player. I was hard nosed, tough individual.
That's okay.
So I'm making questions easy. You guys are you guys are too knowledgeable. Okay.
All right, Mr. Sis, what's your final thoughts tonight?
Final thoughts. Saturday is on you. You're going to call where we're going to eat. I'll be down like by noontime. I want my bag. I want my Knicks hats. And we'll be ready to roll. Okay. That's my final thoughts.
Okay. All right. And we're going to jump on Carson's stream at night.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Great.
All right.
That's cool.
Carson, what's your final words?
Cade Cunningham's going to be a Detroit Piston. I never felt so more alive in my life. He's going to turn our franchise around, and it was just sweet sense of victory when he pulled up that #1 draft pick for us. So I think it's time we get out of mediocrity because I've been stuck in this for my whole life, haven't had any kind of excitement recently, and it's a good time to be a Pistons fan.
Awesome. And my final thoughts, obviously, I'll speak on Kenny's behalf, too. Everyone from the K&K, Carson, enjoy your birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I'll tell you this, Kenny, myself, and Sis are jealous of you of when you said I'm turning 22. We would all love to be 22 again. So we are a little jealous, a lot jealous of you of that. But enjoy your birthday.
Thanks.
You got a great present already from the Pistons, and that's it. Enjoy the games. And my final word is I love basketball again because the Brooklyn Nets are out. So I can't wait for the draft and free agency. And you're my witness on this, Carson. I will never, because when that game was tied on Saturday night, you know who scored the winning basket to break the tie against Brooklyn? Do you know remember who it was?
I can't remember.
Who's the one guy that I always rip on the Milwaukee Bucks? Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
So as long as you know me, you have my word, I will never bash Chris Middleton again because he made me so happy for the night. I don't care if he makes $100 million. He did his job. He knocked Brooklyn out. But great show tonight, guys. We miss Kenny, obviously. We'll get him back next week. And we'll talk next week.
Sounds good, guys. Enjoy the weekend, everyone.
Happy birthday, Carson.
Thanks, guys.
Happy birthday, Carson. Yep.
Appreciate you, sis. All right.